Well, I think one of the problems nowadays is that, of course, everybody's rushing around and leading busy lives, and hygiene is something that perhaps has gone a bit by the board. Consequently, we're very much more aware now of hygiene and cooking and shopping.
That's right.
And as a company, as an electricity association, we in fact felt that we ought to perhaps look into this a bit more thoroughly. And of course, one of the areas that we felt there might be problems would be where people washing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing we did, of course, was to go out and find out what people were up to and how they washed up.
Right, that's the main culprit, would you say, on sort of hygiene?
Not necessarily for all food poisoning cases, but certainly it's a contributing factor. And it's quite interesting, the sort of things that we found out. Now, I'm sure all your viewers are perfect, as indeed we all are.
Absolutely.
But we did find that, for example, particularly the young people may not wash up at all for 3 days.
Really?
And we thought, well, what about tea towels? And we did have some research done on tea towels, but we said, now, how often do you change your tea towel? And only about 30-odd% said once a day. The rest, well, perhaps once a week, or when it got so dirty they thought they'd change it, or not at all.
Ooh.
So
pretty gross,
we said, well, OK, we better quantify this. And so we took a clean tea towel, or we had it taken, and a clean tea towel that you think is perfect has something like 26 microorganisms on it. But when you've finished washing up, it has 347.
Ooh, wow.
So we've got a lot of germs around there, added to which, you know, how do people wash up? And we were told, well, by a lot of people, we do the dirty things first, so the pots and the pans, all the grease
Really?
and the slime.
I think I put my cutlery in first. I think.
Well done.
Is
You're
that
all
what
right.
you're
Well,
supposed to
yes,
do?
you're
I
on the
chuck
way
that in
to
the box then.
success. Yes, you're all right.
Good heavens. I mean, it's quite unusual, really, because you'd think in this day and age, there's so many products on the market and the shelves for getting rid of bacteria, getting rid of germs. I suppose a lot of that's for the bathroom area, but maybe the kitchen is being overlooked.
Well, the kitchen is very important, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't actually know how to do things properly anymore. You know, years ago, mothers taught daughters and so on and so forth. Still daughters, I'm afraid. Our research has also indicated that only 1 in 10 men help regularly washing up.
I could believe that, actually.
We also asked, just for fun of it really, well, you know, what's the excuse for not washing up? And we had excuses like, well, my partner has to do some gardening, take the dog for a walk, feeling tired, and one actually said that went off to see his mistress, which was a bit worrying, wasn't it? So I'm afraid women are still washing up in the home.
It's sad,
it's crazy. But of course, coming back to the hygiene point of view, because people aren't washing up properly, the tea towels are dirty, they're not using water that's hot enough, they're not rinsing in hot water. We thought, well, you know, a dishwasher probably is the answer, and
yes,
that's where it came in.
Here's the big word, because in your survey you're actually looking at whether dishwashers are worth their pennies.
Exactly.
Because I suppose that the main thing about a dishwasher is that it uses a lot of water, that it may be a little bit expensive, but...
Well, it's interesting what you said, the perception, it uses a lot of water. Because if you stop and think about it, when you wash up by hand, first of all, you may do it properly, but you'll have a bowl of hot water more than once a day. And so consequently, you are using litres and litres of water. A lot of people wash up under a running tap, dare I say it. So consequently, you'd think that you'd use less water by hand, but you don't. You use more. And a dishwasher, to do the complete job, that's the hot washing and the rinsing and so on, only uses about 20 litres.
Right.
And
so
you only do it once a day or
about
perhaps once every other day. So it's really very economical.
And does it make it more hygienic?
Oh yes, because you're washing at a higher temperature. We also had plates checked after they've been hand washed and washed in a dishwasher. And the microorganisms on the hand wash plates counted without the tea towel was 147 and in a dishwasher only 6.
Gosh, that's a big difference.
So it does make a difference. We've also been told, and actually have had it confirmed, that people that have dishwashers very often say, oh, well, since I've had a dishwasher, the colds don't go around the household. And we had a psychologist looking at our research anyhow, and he actually confirmed it. He said, oh yes, there has been some research work, and so colds don't pass on to the rest of the family.
So, you know, the long shot of it is that the dishwasher really is worth worth the money.
It's worth the money. Well, of course you'd expect me to say that, wouldn't you? But I've had one for a long time. They are, because you've got other benefits apart from the hygiene. The kitchen's always clean and tidy. You can control your fuel cost, shall we say, because you know just how much water's going into the machine. If you have a cold fill machine, then you heat that quantity in the machine. You don't lose it somewhere around the house in pipes.
Right.
So it has lots and lots of benefits.
Okay. What about for people that can't afford a dishwasher? How is the best way to wash up?
Well, I'm afraid it's arduous, and at the end of the day, it will probably be worth going and getting a dishwasher. But if we were in that particular instance, the first thing is you need very, very hot water, and usually it's water hotter than the hand can bear.
So on with the marigolds.
Definitely, probably double. We, in our machines, we wash at 65 degrees C, so you can imagine that's pretty hot water. You wash the cleanest things first, like yourself, the cutlery and the side plates and so on. You do not use the same water all the time, so you don't actually. So I'm afraid you have to have another bowl of hot water for those things that are more dirty, shall we say, later on. But having washed them, you should then be rinsing them in hot water, and do not use a tea towel. You have to leave them on the side.
Leave them to dry. Superb,
Exactly.
Jenny. Thank you very much for coming in. Excellent advice for keeping your hygiene high.